Hello everybody. Once again welcome you all for the today's session. Today we are going to discuss the implementation strategy for designing class, object and instances. So prior to discussing about this, we have to know that program has only we are taking the inputs from the keyboard and displaying it to the console, and this we can do by using various constructs which is available in different languages like scanf in C language. If I want to read the value from the keyboard, cin for taking the value from the keyboard in C++ language, and we use streams, IO streams for reading the values from the keyboard in Java. And similarly, the input method is used for reading the value from the keyboard in Python. And if I want to display the value to the console, printf we use commonly in C language. Cout, console output, is used for C++ language, and system.out.println, which is used in Java language, and print method in Python. So what are these? While writing the program, these syntax I will be discussing while writing the program. Here only what we want to know is that like we are having various constructs for taking the input and displaying it to the console. So next thing what we must have the variables. As we discussed in our second lecture, we must have functions, we must have classes. So in the second lecture we told that the writing program is a game of variables and functions. But if we are going to deal with the object-oriented programming, then we must have another construct, that is classes, as we discussed in the next third lecture. So if we are having classes, classes are used for object and instances and constructors. So if we talk about the classes, it must be having three different things: objects, instances and constructors. So whenever the object will be created, constructors will be called automatically. What is the constructor? I will be discussing it later in the slide. So what we need exactly, if we are going to write the program, we need a rule for these three things, excluding input from the keyboard and display it to the console. We need the rule for variables, we need the rule for functions, and we need the rule for classes. So we will having these three things. So let's discuss what is the rule exactly. So about variables, variable can have access specifiers. So we are having three different access specifiers, that is private, public and protected. What are they? Actually, each access specifier allows us to provide the access privilege for a variables to be used in somewhere else in the class or inside the class also. So by using these keywords, private, public and protected, we provide certain kind of grant access to our variables which are inside the class to be used by either another object of another class or by the same class. So this private, public and protected have been provided for the purpose of encapsulation, so that we can save our data members inside the class to be modified by another object. So variables can be accessed. Who can access these variables? Variable can be accessed either by creating the class object. So if we are having a class object, we can access these variables. And a non-member function of the class. In C++ what happens? Not in Java, but in C++ what happens? There is a class outside the class we create some functions, So that function also can access private member of the class. So if that non-member function of the class, non-member, I want to say that if a member function which is declared outside the class, so if that function wants to access the private variable of a class, then it can access it by using the friend functions. So by using the friend function, by making it friend of that class, a private data member can be accessed. So this is a loophole in the C++ language. Most of the object-oriented languages, they do not provide this kind of facility. Next is that without class object. So these data members, these variables, data member, I mean to say that these variables can be accessed even without the class object, and this happens by static keyword in Java. I forgot to write it here. Even in Python also, we can access the object members and functions even by using the static in Java and Python. So there are also some variables which I don't want to be accessed anywhere. None of the class can modify that variable. So this can be done by using the final keyword, and this is supported in Java. So there are some of the variables which is declared at the class level. So all the functions of that class must share the same variable. This can be done by using the static construct which is available in the Java class as well as in the Python, not in C++. So variable can have certain types also. We can have user defined data types. So as we discussed in the third lecture, that we can define our own user defined data types such as employees, students, university, so on. So these data types we can declare it as a variable like employee emp. So emp will have we will be having a variable type employee which is having type emp as type employee. Language defined data type, we are having certain data types as I keep on telling, integer, character and float. And we are having the collection type. Collection type, I need to say, like we are having multiple values stored inside a collection like arrays, list, linked list, hash map, hash table, so on in various programming languages. So now about functions. We can have function which we can call inside another function like main, as we saw while doing the programming for factorial of a number in my second lecture, where there I called factorial function by call by value. So a function can be called inside the main function by using the call by value or call by address, and also call by reference, mostly in Java language. Sorry. Functions can be accessed by only class object. So we can make a function to be accessed by only class object. So this happens that if we are having a function, we can access it by only object, and this is in C++. By any class object, we are having multiple classes, and we can access those functions by using any class object. By its child class object, so there is a parent class, there is a child class, So parent method functions can be accessed inside the child class and without class object. So some of the methods which can be accessed without creating any class object, like static in Java, and we are having std as a namespace in C++, which is also a type that we are not creating any object, we are accessing C in console input and console output, C out, which is defined in IO stream library. So that we are accessing, and this std namespace std we are using so that we can avoid name conflict in other classes. Similarly, functions can have also access specifiers as we had seen in terms of variables. So here also functions can have private, public and protected. We can make our functions also to be granted to access by another class. So if we want to protect, if we do not want to allow other class to access the function, it can be declared as private. If we want every other class object can access the function of my class, then it can be declared as public. If we want that only the child class would be able to access the method declared, then it can be declared as protected. So we can have different type of functions. We can have ordinary function, we can have inline function. It is a substitution of macros in C++. It is not supported in Java. Macros, it is a kind of substitution where I don't want to. It is a mechanism for reusability, which is supported in C++ language and in C language. And in place of macros, we are using inline function in C++, which helps us to use a code block without exactly writing it. And we are having constructors, which are kind of another function. Constructors are useful for, and they get called while creating the object. So it is a special function where class name should be same as the method name. Method name should be same as the class name. Functions can be defined. We can define the function inside a class, like in C++, Java and Python. Outside the class also we can define the function, like in C++. Only inside class. In Java we cannot define the function outside the class. So in Java only the function can be defined inside the class. Functions cannot be defined inside another function in C++, Java and in Python. But Python, there is a privilege where we can define function inside another function. So here I need it to be corrected, because in Python we can define a function inside a function. Functions can be overloaded and function can be overridden also. Overloaded, I mean to say, like if we are having multiple functions with the same name but different arguments and different return types, are different arguments but the same return type also, then they will be overloaded. What is the concept of overloaded and overridden? All these concepts I will be discussing while discussing about all these in my next lectures. So overridden, if we are having the same method signatures in the parent and child, return type, number of arguments and function name both all are same, then they will be overridden. So about the classes, you have seen my previous lecture. I told what is the use of the class. You can read it on this link. Access modifiers for the classes also, there are private, public, protected, final, static. These are used in Java. We do not have this kind of access modifiers available in C++ and Python. We are having types of classes, outer classes, inner classes. These concepts are in Java. Parent and child classes, these concepts are on Java. Outer class and inner class concept is not available in C++ and Python. Only the parent and child class concept is available in C++ and Python. So let's discuss implementation. Why, like what, when we are